where we are right now in this world, like the Fortnite idea kind of inspired this, but I'm looking at it like we're working from home, we're ordering our food from apps. So I mean, obviously it's not the Oasis, but like I use DoorDash if I need food now. I don't actually go out. Like my fiance will go shopping every now and then, brave the storm. But you can order everything online. You can work a lot of jobs online until the foreseeable future, and everything's better. This is basically what we're doing. And like gaming, the Fortnite tournament, like if it was in VR, it would have been ridiculous. I watched that one. I thought it was like, so it's like a 10-minute concert, and then you spawn into the game, and so you're left having to play a game after seeing this one-of-a-kind experience. Like, I don't know exactly what, like, I didn't play the in-game version. I watched a YouTube video, so I don't know if you hop into a game and it's like, hey, you're on a concert, or do you, like, press a button and then, like, hopping back into that game and trying to play off a game after, like, this crazy giant, what is this rapper's name?
My understanding about the way Fortnite did it, at least they did the Deadmau5 one before that, where it was just, there was a server instance, people could go into it, they couldn't kill each other, and then the concert would cycle through.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I thought. But I didn't realize that the rapper one, they're actually making people play a battle royale after the concert's over.
Yeah, so you just, like, afterwards, basically, like, an explosion happens, the universe, like, implodes, whatever, and then you spawn into your game. I don't know, I only watched, like, it was IGN, and, like, they spawned into a map, and it looked like they were going to play out the rest of the match, but they cut the video, so I don't know if, like, it's still, like, a lobby, and then they go into the bus, or what. But I thought the whole entire experience was crazy. If it was, like, VR ready, that would have been a cool experience.
It ends like the Fire Festival, where they're all trapped on a desert island with nothing but vodka to drink.
But I think, like, concerts, online concerts can do a lot more than a real in-person concert could ever do. And if you have, like, the right setup and, like, with VR, the technology is very, very, like super amazing. Like, the entertainment and the immersion is going to be way more. Obviously, being in person is always going to have that energy, but I think just if you have the choice of no concert or VR concert, you're going to pick the VR concert if you have the equipment.
Plus, it depends on the music.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, of course. Because I don't think everyone likes Travis Scott. And I'm surprised, like, a rap song like what the ones that he was doing was on Fortnite, but online gameplay, I think, doesn't have to meet the same ESRB rules.
Yeah, cause, like, I think for concerts, like, there is a, like, I'll admit the concert selection I've been to for previous concerts have been somewhat biased, because it's been a mix of, like, big rock show type concerts like Iron Maiden, Rush, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Video Games Live on the one side of things, and then classical music. Like, I went to see the Final Fantasy chamber music concert.
Nice.
And that was, like, there is a very different sense there in terms of for the energy and vibe for these concerts. Like, for the rock shows, like, having people around you engaging with the audience, engaging in the concert, is something that's very different. You can't really replicate in a virtual form. And then for classical music, I mean, kind of like.
Oh, well, I guess my argument is, like, obviously an in-person tournament's always, or not tournament. Wow, video games on the brain. An in-person concert is always going to be, like, better in terms of energy, and, like, if you have the option to do that. But currently, we don't have that option. So they're forced to do it online. So watching it on YouTube or Facebook Live versus VR is kind of, I guess, kind of the comparison, because, like, a lot of people are doing Facebook Live right now, which is still very fascinating. And I think it's cool that they're doing that.
I guess the finish part I was making with classical. With classical, it's more of like kind of a wash there, because, like, depending on what the headphones you're listening on, because there's less of the audience engagement for that sort of thing.
Right, but it's like, let's say, I see your point, but now, like, for instance, what happened with the new Trolls movie, right? It came out on VO, like, and streaming, right, instead of the movie. So that one as well, you can argue, say, well, depending of, not for this movie in particular, but movies overall, going to the movies will mostly be a better experience to see a movie versus in home, but also depends on what you have, right? If you have a big setup with a big projector and a huge sound, you might have a very close to a movie or a movie theater experience. And we've already had that experience. Anyone know how good did the Trolls movie do?
So
I don't think it did well.
Because it was released on a streaming platform or straight to streaming like that. They actually don't. There's no anything, and there's nothing legally that requires them to actually divulge how well the movie did. Because there were a number of other films that got dumped directly to VOD as well.
Well, see, that's the thing is I get it. Okay, they're missing out on the ticket prices, but I don't know if anybody saw the price for that Trolls movie when it came out.
20-something, right?
It was $19, $19.99
and that's to rent it for the weekend, right?
That's to rent it for 2 days.
Yeah.
Blockbuster went out of business because of that, right?
Yeah, but you're missing the point, though. You're missing the point. This is in a movie theater. If you go by yourself, it's probably less than that. But if you go as a family,
3 people,
right?
Yeah,
you're probably spending less.
And
with the snacks, right? They're much cheaper.
Well, yeah, sorry to cut you off, Antonio. For me, taking my daughter to see the Sonic movie, it was myself, my wife, and my daughter. That's
$40,
almost $40, and then you're buying snacks and drinks and stuff like that. But also the movie.
There's your mistake right there. You don't buy snacks in the movie theater. You sneak them in.
So here's the thing: a law-abiding citizen who likes to support a local business will buy stuff from the theater to support it.
Screw that! I went to McDonald's buying 4 McDoubles and stuffing in my pocket.
Hey.
Oh my God!
And here you are, the front of the theater, eating it like a squirrel.
No, I go right in front of them. I was like, this because of the movie theater I go to, they have a table for each seat. So I was just turn the table hamburger, 3 Mountain Dews, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm there to support the theater also, because a lot of theater chains are locally owned.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you're helping them out. They're getting pretty much the theater. They're not making really a lot of money off the movie ticket. They're making more money off concessions.
Oh, the snacks, yeah. That's what they make.
Well, I can't afford snacks.
Well, also, I'll admit, I live in the Portland area. We have some really good locally owned theaters. I mean, go to the Hollywood Theater, and they got Kung Fu Movie Night.
Mm-hmm.
They also legitimately have good popcorn.
One of my favorite movie theaters closed down, so I totally get that.
I can kind of give you an idea here. So, in my business, I'm a business and product development coordinator, and one of the things we're looking at is buying an old movie theater here as a business opportunity. Well, you'd kind of look at the ways that it weighs, and yeah, you're right. A first-run movie theater, which brings in the newest movies, that theater is probably making $4 off those tickets. The rest of it goes right back to the studio. You're the bag of popcorn, your $15 bag of popcorn, that costs 5 cents. The pop, 8 cents for that your large popcorn is only 8 cents. So the rest of that's where the theater's making the money, is in that concession only.
You're talking about the 80% water, 20% Coke?
Pretty much, but that's how they have to do it. If you're going to be a theater, you want to be what's called a third, fourth, or fifth run movie theater, and that's where you can play movies from the 80s who've already done their runs and finished, and you're only paying $1 to $2 to play that movie, and you get the full ticket price.
Yeah, but you don't attract as many people, though.
Well, that's the other thing, and that's kind of where
that
the quality of people changes.
I got a question. Don't you have to get a license from the company to play those movies?
Well, yeah. When you
I think it's a one-time
get a movie
fee, though.
theater, it's a one-time fee. You pay it. Well, technically, some of them are yearly. Some of them are assholes, and they want a yearly fund. But again, a lot of them will just take. You play our movie, we take X amount from your ticket sales. So you can take however movies you want from our studio, just send us what you make for it. That's it. And those are the movie companies you want to deal with. And that's why you're going to see a lot of them, in those second, third, and fourth run. Yeah. A third run movie is a movie that's just coming out on DVD. It's next week will be out on DVD. Boom, they're playing it. And then next week it's out on DVD. So,
and also the thing is with the with showing the older movies is you're picking the right older movies, you will get people who will flock in because of that movie. When I mentioned local theater with Kung Fu Movie Nights, you show Last Hurrah for Chivalry, which is one of the John Woo 1970s wuxia films kind of thing, and people will come for that because it's or actually even better example, we had a screening that was scheduled at the Hollywood Theater. Well, not we. I don't work for them. But there was a screening that was scheduled.
Propaganda.
That was sadly canceled due to the human malware. To use the not getting demonetized on YouTube phrasing, of The Killer, the classic John Woo film, and John Woo was going to come for a Q&A.
Oh shit.
And that's like other stuff like the Hollywood Theater has a 70mm projector and their own 70mm print of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh shit.
So I finally upgraded to a 4K TV, and three movies that finally got me to twist my arm to do it. One is the release, which I've already purchased and enjoy greatly, of Space Adventure Cobra the movie. One is the upcoming release of Akira on 4K, and 2001: A Space Odyssey.
You say Akira or Akira?
It is pronounced
Akira.
Akira in the movie, so I'm going with that pronunciation.
Oh, so it's not Akira.
Either one actually kind of works from basically in the movie itself. Everyone pronounces it Akira, so I'm going with that.
Akira.
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 Here's the thing. I need to go rewatch that film because the last time I watched it is the only time I watched it. I was on the bus to Chicago, and I had the worst internet, so it kept stopping on me for every 10 seconds because I was streaming it through Funimation at the time.
It is absolutely worth rewatching. I actually got really lucky. When Kimura Con had their first convention, when they moved over to the Oregon Convention Center a few years ago, OMSI, who has an IMAX theater, did an anime film festival, and they showed. One of the movies they showed was Akira, so I got to see it on the big screen, on their IMAX screen. It was not an IMAX print, but it's at the same aspect ratio as the IMAX aspect ratio. So it completely 100% filled the screen. It was amazing to watch. I also got to watch Evangelion 3.33 that way, but that's another story. 3.33 is all right, but it's no Akira.
Well, here's the thing. Speaking of Akira, I kind of want to keep on the subject. What's your thoughts that they're going to make it into a live action film?
So, live action Akira is one of those things where it depends on the director and it depends on the script. Because a good director and a good script will, if you get those, the other stuff, the effects and the cast will follow. We got Taika Waititi, who did a great job with Jojo Rabbit, and I also did great. I enjoyed Thor Ragnarok. I enjoyed the movie What We Do in the Shadows. I haven't watched the TV series yet. He's less involved with that. Now, all of those have a certain degree of comedy, though with Jojo Rabbit is a much more of a black comedy. And so, but he also is a person who, he is the guy where if you're worried, you're going to have a movie called Akira, and there aren't going to be actually any Japanese people in the movie at all. Then he's going to be the guy no, we're going to have a cast that will fit this movie in terms of good selection of actors, both in terms of making sure ethnicities are represented, but also in terms of these are really good actors as well. I mean, I can get good performances out of them.
Sorry.
The other thing that really has me sold on it, though, is he's not doing just one movie. Because the thing with the original film is the manga was still coming out when the film was made, and so the story when the film came out was not done, and it actually kind of negatively was impacted in the film, where it's there are characters which are better developed in the manga, there are storylines and concepts that are better developed in the manga, and with doing it as two films, I think those concepts will be better developed. It's the same reason why I'm really looking forward to the new Dune movie, someone who's read that book multiple times. And
Doom or Dune?
Dune, Dune,
Okay.
that has read the book multiple times and has seen multiple film or screen adaptations of it from the David Lynch movie and the Sci-Fi Channel miniseries. Like, I like the effects of the David Lynch movie, but the shields are kind of wonky. But I like the story interpretation and execution more in the Sci-Fi Channel miniseries, because Dune as a book has a complex story with lots of like interesting themes and great character interactions, and they have the time to develop that over a longer runtime. And so giving it 2 movies, like, it's particularly if they're doing both like 2-3 hour epics or whatever, then it's going to give that the story time to develop, and the characters and all the events of it, the room to develop that it needs. Because like, I did like a big video just like about plots from Dune that I picked up on my like 3rd or 4th reading on my channel. And so there's a lot of stuff to unpack there. Yeah.
So all I care about is if they make a live-action Akira film, it needs to be as good as Fist of the North Star. That Western remake, that was a masterpiece that probably cost them about a full $20 to make.
Can you say it one more time, because you kind of skipped there.
Oh, do you know about Fist of the North Star?
I heard of it. I heard of it. Haven't watched it yet.
So there's a Western live-action telling of that story that is just a cinematic train wreck of amazing proportions. And if you have the opportunity to watch it, I highly suggest you go and check it out. So I only hope that Akira can be as good as that.
I'm pretty sure it will certainly top that. Although I admit, I do hope that Taika Waititi does find some way to get Malcolm McDowell in there.
It needs to be a rule that every Western live-action remake has to have Malcolm McDowell in some capacity. Like, I was kind of sad that he wasn't in the Ghost in the Shell movie. Like, I'm like, where's Malcolm McDowell? Come on, you're failing us.
Malcolm McDowell wasn't in Dragon Ball Evolution either.
Oh, damn it, you're right.
Talk about Dragon Ball Evolution.
No, we are not talking about that.
I
train
saw
wreck
that.
of a movie. No,
I saw that film in theaters.
No.
Oh my god, no.
You know what anime live action movie I really enjoyed that came out in the US? Oh god. That's
Initial D?
Huh?
There was a lot.
The cyborg chick. The cyborg chick.
That's
Ghost in the Shell?
Alita Battle Angel.
Alina. Was it Alina?
Alita.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the hell of that game. Movie.
Yeah,
it was a good movie. Yeah.
Yes, that was a legitimate. That was a fantastic movie. I am actually really wanting to read novelization of it, actually, because they got to write it Pat Cadigan. She is basically one of the founders of the cyberpunk movement in literature. Is like her, Bruce Sterling, William Gibson, and Neil Stephenson are like the names to know in cyberpunk literature. And so getting her involved in that to write the novelization is a big deal. That would be like if the novelization of the Ghost in the Shell movie, for all that film's significant faults, if they'd gotten like William Gibson to write the novelization of that.
I don't know who that is. I know who the Gibson is, who from the Bee Gees.
William Gibson is the guy who wrote Neuromancer and Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I was thinking of the movie for Johnny Mnemonic. That was
he also wrote the screenplay. He also wrote the screenplay for Johnny Mnemonic.
You have
him to thank for.
I
want room service.
I have 6 gigabytes of space in my brain, and it's overflowing and killing me.
You have him to thank for that as well.
6 gigabytes. God damn.
Or the Dolphin Hacker. That was great.
That's actually from the original book.
In 240p.
I bet the book's great. The only thing I remember that was substantially amazing about Johnny Mnemonic was the VHS cover art, because the way they did it was the label was was a Keanu Reeves face, and then but the head though went into the reel on the VHS tape, and it just looks so goddamn sexy. Putting it out there.
What do you think about him being in the new Cyberpunk game?
Oh, I am all in for that. Like hell, I'm just all in for more video game adaptations of tabletop games that aren't Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, don't get me wrong, I backed the Kickstarter for Solasta. I forget the full title of that, which is a D&D 5th edition based game. And I also backed like the Pathfinder game as the second Pathfinder game as well. But I like getting tabletop adaptations of things that aren't just fantasy role playing, that aren't just swords and sorcery and that sort of thing in terms of like the tabletop things they're based on. Because like I own every edition of D&D. I own Pathfinder, which is basically another set of editions of D&D. But there's so much more out there, and it's I having gone through like decades of listening to video game podcasts, and whenever tabletop role-playing games come up, they talk about D&D and that as if that's the only thing that ever was. And maybe they remember Shadowrun because back in the day there was the Genesis Shadowrun game and the Super Nintendo Shadowrun game, which were amazing. And maybe they'll remember Shadowrun because of those, but they'll assume, oh, they haven't made a Shadowrun video game, with the exception of the Xbox 360 title,
I like that one.
Yep, in the decade since then. So clearly, no Shadowrun tabletop role-playing game materials have been published in the years since then. And this is the last edition of the Shadowrun tabletop role-playing game, which came out like 5 years ago, and there's a new edition that came out not that far back. So there's a lot more. There are more things in tabletop role-playing games that are dreamt of in your philosophy, Horatio.
Because
And you know I'm pissed. I'm busting out the Shakespeare.
So you remember speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, there was the Dungeons and Dragons film that came out in 2000 with the official license.
There's the sequel that came out with it too, which was just as. It was actually probably I liked the sequel better than the first one. So I believe the first one had Nick Cannon in it.
They were both equally incompetent.
Was it Nick?
No, it was a Wayne's brother.
A Wayne's brother, right. Just as bad.
Marlon Wayans from such acclaim as White Girls.
You mean G.I. Joe?
It also
God damn it, he wasn't that.
It also had in the first one Jeremy Irons left no scenery unchewed. There's enough saliva on those sets that you could probably make a clone.
I don't.
That's the only way to make a movie. Like the guy who played Skeletor in the freaking live-action movie of that. Chewed the shit out of that scenery.
Oh yeah, Frank Langella.
Yeah.
He also played Dracula once.
Oh shit, that would have been great.
Yeah.
So on a lighter note in terms of cinema, I recently watched Parasite. Who's seen that?
I have not.
I have not, but heard good things about it. Is that the Asian film?
Yeah, the Korean film. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I watched a few reviews, so I knew the concept of the movie before watching it because I hate watching movies and wasting my time. But me and my fiance watched it. We both enjoyed it. The premise, I really don't want to spoil anything, but it has to deal with multiple different things. But it's kind of poor versus rich, or the perception of the poor versus the perception of the rich, and how that interacts when they interact with each other. And it gets into a lot of philosophical and metaphorical stuff. Now, it's hard to explain it because it is somewhat of the genre changes throughout the movie, from more of a comedic dramedy to drama comedy to more of almost like a horror type film. And it's really fascinating to see that shift and like how they talk about like rich people and poor people. So it's really, really good. I recommend it. I don't really push too many movies on people, but it's a make you think movie. If you want to think about something philosophical, then yes. But if you're like very closed-minded and don't give a damn about like thinking about things and just want an action movie, don't watch it.
So Tyler's not for you.
Oh, okay.
Same director did like Brother and Host and those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I went to see that movie and I didn't know what I was getting into because I didn't pay attention because I thought it was this. I thought it was this Parasite
Oh,
movie.
I know that anime.
And I thought, oh wow, they made a version of this.
I mean,
Great, I'll go see it. It was
I mean,
absolutely not what I was
You
expecting.
probably were very disappointed then.
I was extremely disappointed. This reminded me when I was when I was a young child, and my mom and my aunt said, "You know what? We're going to take you to go see Fantasia." And I was so excited because Fantasia was in the movies, it was in the theaters. I was a young kid. She's like, "Yeah, we're going to take you to Fantasia." We got to the movie theater. We went in, and they're like, "Oh, it's gone, but you can watch the movie that's here now." And that movie was Free Jack.
Never heard of
Wait,
it.
the one
What's
with
that?
That's
Emilio Estevez?
Emilio Estevez and Mick
Emilio
Jagger.
Estevez
And,
and Mick
yeah.
Jagger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
That movie lives in my heart now, Free Jack. But this was the same goddamn situation.
If you
where-
were disappointed, I am ashamed because that movie is just a masterpiece.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Anthony Hopkins, Mick Jagger just chewing every single bit of scenery. Mick Jagger needs to be in more acting roles.
What does chewing
Oh,
scenery mean?
You know what? Since we're talking
Chew
about
the scenery means just
I'll be right back.
you're just using all your acting chops just to dominate a scene and just completely
Oh,
take
thank
control of it and that kind of stuff. That's
Okay.
kind of like chew the scenery. Like I'm trying to think of some like more contemporary scenes that would show you where like some actors get out there and they just make the entire they make the movie basically. It's like what you would say. Like some actor that you wouldn't even think is like a main character of the film, but just he's such like a renowned just takes control of the moment so well.
Nick Cage chews the scenery a lot. Sometimes chewing the scenery too far can get into overacting.
Mm-hmm.
Like the bees.
Like
bees,
do the example, to do a comparison like Nick Cage. Nick Cage chewing the scenery is Face Off. Nick Cage overacting is The Wicker Man.
I will admit, I did watch Mom and Dad, Nick Cage movie. If you guys haven't seen that, it's a really good movie. Premise of it is, I don't know, something in the brain makes the parents want to kill the children.
Yeah, it's like the grandparents show up and start trying to
Yeah, and then the grandparents show up and want to kill the
Oh,
kids,
yeah.
and then
I
the
heard of
parents
that.
want to kill the kid, and then it's like a survival of the children. It's actually really good. I was kind of thinking,
What's the name again of the movie?
Mom and Dad.
Dad. All right.
It's a really good movie. I suggest if you haven't seen it, it's one of those movies. Hey, we're in quarantine. Check it out. You know, it's great.
Nick Cage-a-thon. When you're stuck in your cage, you can enjoy the cage.
There you go.
Hey, there you go. That's a stream waiting to happen.
I will say, sorry. I will say I did make one poor reading choice. Admittedly, this was before this all got started, but it was still a poor reading choice, and I regret it because I didn't get far enough in this book to get past the relevant portion. I tried to understand. I'm still in the Captain Trips part of the story, which I'm like, if I'd gotten further past this to like after the plague part and gotten an hour in the apocalypse, I'd probably be okay. I can power through the rest of this. But now I'm like, this is hitting a little close to home right now. I'm gonna, Steve, we're gonna wait for a bit. We're gonna be in the break.
Remember, when you do a lot of cocaine in the 80s, you see the future.
What? I missed my chance.
Yeah, you missed your opportunity. I mean,
You're still young.
Yeah. The 2080s,
no longer
that's
the
going to
80s.
turn. 2080 is going to turn around. Don't you worry.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
We got this.
All right.
2021. It's our year, boys.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
I believe.
go
ahead.
Okay, I was going to say, here's what I've been watching. I actually got this during quarantine. I finally got to see Riding Bean. Dang it.
Oh, yeah.
Twisted Metal looked good.
Yeah.
I backed that Kickstarter. I still need to get around to watching that. The main thing I've been watching right now, anime-wise, is so I have my High Dive subscription.
Yeah.
So I got myself 100 and so episodes of Legends of the Galactic Heroes.
I didn't get to the Kickstarter for this. I got Gunsmith Cats. I got that on the Kickstarter. Then someone's like, "Hey, you like that?" I was like, "Yeah, I like it." I was like, "Well, you should watch Riding Bean." I'm like, "Okay." And
Sold.
but yeah, I know. Then I found out this guy has Bubblegum Crisis also. If I can show it.
Yep.
Put it in your face.
Zoom is like, fuck you.
And I enjoy the hell of Bubblegum Crisis. I think you could say OVA 4, where the guy actually hooks himself up to his vehicle to get revenge on the biker.
That's a really good episode. Yeah.
I was like, look, I mean, I like the previous thing, but this one stands up the most. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is badass.
Like, I've backed pretty much every Animigo Kickstarter thus far. I'm talking to video. I've done a Bubblegum Crisis, Riding Bean, Guns with Cats, and I've got back the Megazone 23 Kickstarter, which that one's shipping soon, I think.
I hope so, because I backed it too.
Yep. Whatever he does, like whatever they do a Kickstarter for next, I'm right there.
I know. Don't you think that ain't this like the company I've been around since the '90s, but now they're using Kickstarter to fund their projects?
They've kind of been doing stuff like this before. Like, so they did a Kickstarter wasn't around then, but it was like because it was like mid '90s. But they basically did something like a Kickstarter, except it was for pre-orders for a complete subtitled release of Macross before ADV did it later. Back when Harmony Gold would allow that sort of thing.
No, sorry, go ahead, finish up.
So, but yeah, they've been doing stuff like this. Like Robert Woodhead, the guy who started Animigo, he had the thing going for him of he's the guy who created Wizardry, as far as the role-playing game, video game series, which is huge in Japan, and all the otaku who run these anime studios like, oh, I know you. I enjoy your games. Get your foot in the door. Get your foot in the door, so you can then do license these other shows and that sort of thing. You were Phiocypher, Beautiful Dreamer, all that fun stuff. He did have to kind of make his bones on Madox 01, which is the first license, but which is an okay show. But like it's no Bubblegum Crisis, but that's okay because he got the license Bubblegum Crisis later.
You know what show I found? I think it was released by Anime. Was it Ego?
Yeah, Anime.
You know what show I want them to re-release is that cop show of those two females.
You're Under Arrest. Yeah.
Yes. I accidentally bought season 2 at a convention. It was a subtitle only, and I thought it was the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really want to see that one if he can re-release it somehow.
Yeah, like that is kind of nuts because it's like the anime for that show kept going after the manga ended, which is like one of those things that never happens.
Was it that successful? Or?
Yeah, because like the guy who did the manga is also the guy who does Oh My Goddess. So
really, I love Oh My Goddess.
Be right back. I'm gonna get more alcohol.
Yeah. There's too much weed crap going on here. I need more booze.
See, I have Oh My Goddess, the OVA, Oh My Goddess season 1 and 2. I have Oh My Goddess, the movie. I have Oh My Goddess on the Dreamcast.
Yep. So like the guy who did the manga for You're Under Arrest, he did Oh My Goddess first, and that manga was still running. It's like I'm gonna focus on this. After I finish my my anime series about traffic cops, so I get to draw more vehicles, and got that on my system. And meanwhile, the TV series is like, and the OVA series are doing so well. Like, we need another season of this, and so like he's involved, but he's not like actively plotting and that sort of stuff the same way that he was with the manga.
So, with that being said, I think you two, Alex, and Tyler, have a great opportunity to have a buddy cop series, Robotic Furry, because you, Alex, are a thesaurus of knowledge,
Encyclopedia
Tyler,
knowledge. The thesaurus implies synonyms and antonyms.
Whatever. See, there you go. You are the autocorrect of podcasts.
All right. You activated his trap card.
Yep. And of course, Tyler. So I think you two have an ability to do something together that would just be shocking. Literally.
Do fuse and dance form of unholy abomination against nature.
But I think we should kind of wrap this up here in the terms of we're going to quickly run down the line of everybody here, except for we'll wait for Tweedledee and Tweedledee to get back.
Oh, I didn't know he was gone. Oh, both
Yeah,
of them
get
are
some more
gone.
beer.
Oh, okay, no, one's back. I didn't notice.
You push them to drinking, Tyler.
I,
You push them to drinking.
I usually do.
I mean, they had enough of our weeb crap.
But to go down the line and to talk to pretty much just give a suggestion of a movie, an anime, and a video game that you think people should be playing in this time. If they haven't had a chance to check it out, what's something that they should quickly check out that you know of? And we'll start with you, Alex.
Okay. I assume we want us also to do our plug for our stuff here as well? Or...
Yeah, we can do that after once Ian gets back. He'll be the last one to go.
Okay, well, so quick recommendation of something to watch, read, play, or what have you. So, as a person who read all of the Legends of Galactic Heroes novels and reviewed them all on my channel, I am enjoying the Legends of Galactic Heroes anime series immensely. It is a significantly long show of like 115 episodes. But I think by adapting it in anime form, some of the drier parts of the writing are dealt with by having something to look at when providing this information. That said, I would recommend watching it by subscribing to High Dive, because buying a copy of this is about a physical Blu-ray release will cost you about a rent payment of like $800, no exaggeration, for the physical release of this, and so keep that under advisement. But it is a show that is definitely worth your time, and I strongly recommend you check it out.
Awesome. Okay. So let's go to Tyler.
All right. Obviously, the current game I'm currently playing is Persona 5 Royal, but that's a $60 game. If you can't afford $60 right now, there is a regular version of Persona 5. Basically, you're just missing about 20% of the content, but for $20, I think it's reasonable. I actually recommend wait for the price drop for Royal. And if I could really recommend an anime right now, besides the two I mentioned, Ranma 1.5. I am currently watching that show. It's freaking hilarious. If you like seeing a guy transform into a female and have him be in a weird situation, I recommend it.
I gotta say that that show is one of the shows that it was here in Mexico was not censored while it aired, just like Dragon Ball.
Well,
where because in the States you guys had like the very censored versions of that. But I recall seeing at some point in one of the episodes, one of the ending songs had Ranma as a girl in the bathtub with one of the boobs hanging out, right? It was like in the middle of it was like a 3 p.m. cartoon, right? It's like, oh. So everyone was like, oh, wow, this anime looks like fun.
Well, the Blu-rays I'm watching, I don't think anything was censored as far as I'm aware, but I do really enjoy the first opening season song. I'll play that song on YouTube once in a while. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. What I miss? More anime?
We're each giving one recommendation of something to watch while we're hunkered down.
Future Man.
Yeah, and I think that's all I can recommend right now.
So let's go to Antonio.
Yeah. So, well, I'm showing in the back drop here as well. I would suggest, do you like the original action or whatever action RPG? If you like that type of thing, Trials of Mana, the remake, it's a fantastic game. I recommend it. And it's like what, $40 right now, something like that. When it came out, that I would say also recently played Control from the Remedy guys, the guys that made Alan Wake, Quantum Break, all those games. It's a really fun game, and not only that, but if you played some of those games, well, the Alan Wake in particular games before, you will enjoy that this game actually connects the universe. That now they call it the Remedy universe. So
Really?
they kind of are. So they explain a lot of the stuff that happened on Alan Wake and why, which is really cool to see.
We just beat Alan Wake not too long ago. That's actually I have that game. I haven't played it yet, so that's
Alan Wake or Control.
Control.
Oh, so you play Alan Wake recently?
Yeah.
Play
I beat it
Control
again.
then. And it's not. I believe in the Epic Store it's like $18 or something like that.
Yeah, I have Control. I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet.
Yeah, it's
It was a free game for PlayStation, I think.
Well, there you go. It's fantastic. It's a great game. Again, read anything that comes out of the on the game. All the files that you find in the game, read them because there's a lot of cool stuff. What they say there about Alan Wake, and it's really fun to see.
Nice.
I would say anime-wise, I usually read manga more than watch anime, but I was rewatching the Hunter x Hunter.
Which one?
Anime, the newer one.
Okay.
Nice.
What is it? The 2011 one, is it?
Yeah.
That's what they call it. And it's, even though it's not a finished product, but it's pretty self-contained. If you watch the whole thing, it's not finished, but it's not unsatisfying, if it's a word, right? How it ends there. The original manga of the original manga, it's very notoriously on hiatus. That's why they call it hiatus instead of Hunter x Hunter. Actually, because I was reading the manga last year, he published 0 chapters, I believe, on the whole year. So yeah, I don't expect that to finish anytime soon. So, but the actual anime, it's really cool. Just if you haven't watched it, I recommend that. Movie-wise, there's nothing really this season, right? The beginning of the year is always very dry. I don't know if you wanna if you wanna try to make this whole streaming new movies that you may wanna give it a try to Trolls just to support that, if that's into what you want to do. But other than that, there's nothing new that I can recommend.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'll go next. Video game wise, pretty much I just got to tip my hat to all the developers, Epic, PlayStation, Xbox, Ubisoft, giving out all these free games over this period of time that we're going through. All these companies giving out games that they don't have to, really. I mean, right now it's I'm surprised there hasn't been a COVID Steam sale,
Right.
to take up on this opportunity. Good on them for not doing it. Maybe a little out of not the best thing to do, but again, raise money for COVID research, blah 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 blah. Nonetheless, all these companies and all these things that are giving out the free stuff, excellent. I tip my hat to them because they've got a lot of free games. One of the free games I'm actually playing on Epic is The Cycle. It's a free game. It's a neat game, I must say. If you're into co-op PvE shooter type things where you go collect plants, shoot animals, you can shoot other people, then the planet starts to crumble, so you got to get out before the evac with your stuff. It's a pretty neat game. I've been playing that one pretty much nonstop. It's a free game.
I think it's been really cool about free game. They recently gave out like Just Cause 4.
Yep.
Huh.
That's for free. That's a fantastic game. Just give it to you like that.
Exactly. And like I said, it's great for all these companies to be doing that. So I'd say, if you're looking for a free game to play, The Cycle, it's a great game. Check it out. Movie-wise, I mean, support the things that are coming out, the straight-to-digital releases with Trolls 2, The Hunt came out. I don't know if anyone knows about that, but it's where they take a bunch of random people and they're hunted by, I guess, Democrats or Republicans. I don't remember which one is hunting.
Well,
and,
they take a bunch of like Trump supporters or something like that. It's like liberal leftists that are hunting them or something is the storyline.
Oh, that
so
reminds
in reality, it's CNN. So is that what we're seeing?
Oh, that
Yeah.
reminds me. There's the Netflix had a new Chris Hemsworth movie coming out with like the stunt. Basically, it's the
Extraction.
yeah, Extraction, and it's basically the Russo brothers doing a John Wick kind of thing and doing a solid for the stunt coordinator for the Marvel movies they directed, and having him direct a John Wick style movie with Chris Hemsworth. Basically, instead of being John Wick assassin, he's he gets people out of dangerous situations and that sort of thing.
And I believe it's the same choreographer as John Wick.
Yep. So if you like the John Wick movies, check that out.
And then if you're looking
my
for
list.
other things to, cut back on time, of course, if you have Disney Plus, Mandalorian's always good to watch again. All the movies coming on there. Onward, that came straight out. That was actually a really good movie. If you have Netflix, who can pass up Tiger King?
I have yet to watch it. I heard good things about it.
Can I just say, I'm like in episode 3 or something, and it's been kind of boring, actually. I don't know if it's just me or if it gets better.
It gets better after the beach scene.
Yeah. All you got to know is Carol Baskin's a bitch.
Well, from what I've seen so far,
has taught
it
me
looks
that.
like it, yeah.
But yeah, pretty much that's, and for animes that I've watched recently, Castlevania came out with a new season 3.
Can you really count as an anime, though?
It's cartoon. I'll take it.
Okay.
You know what? And it was done very well, and it was more truthful in the 3rd season to the video games than what the 1st season was.
I need to see I have yet to see season 3 yet, but I heard about the butt rape, though.
Yes. And then, of course, the,
Count for Castlevania, you stay for the butt rate.
There you go. And then the last sort of real anime I've watched was probably Panzer Girls.
Girls in Panzer.
Girls in Tanks.
Girls in Panzer is a legitimately good show.
Yes. Oh, and Cells at Work. You got to want to learn about the body and human biology? Watch Cells at Work.
Cells at Work is perhaps the best show for our times.
Oh my god. I learned so much.
I thought it was a different kind of cell when I saw the title of it. And I was like,
is that really good educated show? Do they do the show better than Osmosis Jones?
Oh, like there is a YouTube video out there which is Doctor reacts to Cells at Work, and he is like, dude's legitimately impressed with the quality of the science and stuff in there.
So yeah, you want to watch something to learn about human biology? Cells at Work. And no, it's not Cell from Dragon Ball working at McDonald's, working at a drive-through, doing Uber Eats, different jobs.
I would watch that show.
I'd watch that.
I'd watch that.
That should be like season 2 of Devil's Part-Timer. He becomes an Uber driver to deliver food.
I never finished that anime. I forgot about that.
So, Historic Nerd, what do you recommend for video game, movie, anime that people should be watching in these times of sitting at home?
So for me, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a show called Future Man. You ever heard of that?
I think I have. I know nothing about it.
Essentially, it's a show on Hulu that has to do with this loser guy who's dedicated his entire life to beating this one Call of Duty game that no one's managed to beat the last level of. And when he finally does it, these 2 warriors from the future come back thinking he's going to be this great warrior who can help them defeat this evil corporation that basically destroys and enslaves the future. And essentially, it all just goes downhill from there because they're all kind of idiots. But and essentially, it's one of those things where even like the people coming back from the future, they're not even necessarily good people. They're actually just they're almost like crazy anti-vaxxers who are fighting against like these people.
So like normal, so your normal life then?
Yeah, kind of like normal life, but it's progressively more and more messed up than that. And just
are you sure? Are you sure it's more messed up than normal life?
Yeah, I can't get you there, but in terms of like the way the story of the universe goes, is there's a lot of time travel. They fuck a lot of stuff up, and it's just incredibly an amusing story. And the last season just recently dropped on Hulu. So
what's the name of the?
It's called Future Man.
Future. Okay.
Yeah, the first episode might be kind of rough, but like once it starts going and you get into the characters and the way they go, it's really funny because like there's an entire plot sequence where one of the guys from the future gets trapped in the 1980s and just falls absolutely in love with cocaine. And it's an entirely just really amusing storyline that goes through that, and it just gets progressively more interesting. But
I'm sure we've talked about cocaine a lot during this little reunion thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I was laughing.
Yeah, just 3 separate occasions. Stephen King's cocaine problem, a supervillain who did cocaine, and this show where cocaine is a prevalent, funny part of it. So that's a good part of there. Yeah. As far as games I've been playing, I don't know. I'm still doing the whole retro thing, really, because that's just kind of what I like to stream.
So that Grand Theft Auto Vice City?
No, I've been playing more older crap than that because I have an OSSC Kiro now, whatever you call it, the S-Video composite converter to RGB.
Oh,
So,
I thought we were getting into with the cocaine with.
always cocaine. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Ian,
Yeah.
you are you gonna need some footage from some of the TurboGrafx games?
Do you
So you
have?
were doing something about that?
I'm working on it now. Actually, I have a whole thing set up because I managed to score a PVM and I've been doing some fun shots with that. And then, did you happen to have like one of the Turbo CDs attachments for TurboGrafx, or you just have the Power
No.
Booster?
I only have the booster.
Just
I can never
okay.
find a CD attachment.
I was looking for
one.
one, and it was like $180 for a broken one. So I was like, shit.
Wow.
Yeah, go look for a CD attachment. Build off with a PC Duo and have it modded.
Well, yeah, I get that. Like my entire thing, like the video I'm working on right now, I went really deep into like researching why the TurboGrafx failed so miserably. And it's just a series of amazing mistake after mistake after mistake that NEC North America was doing.
It's a shame. It has some great games. That's for
no,
sure.
it's a great
JJ
system.
and
Like,
Jeff was
I
my
know.
jam.
Yeah.
It's just because I bought it because I felt like buying a system, and
Mhm.
it was on a Nintendo Age when it was around.
Yeah,
When the guy sold it to me, I played it, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is great!"
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like if you like shmups, it's one of the best freaking shmup platforms
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah.
So it's got that. It's one of those things where like it's a great console. It's just there was so much ineptitude going on at NEC of America where any opportunity they had to make it successful, they just squandered. It's absolutely amazing.
Well, Sega of America as well did the same, right? Did
Sega of America fuck the pooch? I think it was more Sega of Japan.
Well,
shoving orders down their mouth. Or
what about the
throat
Sega Saturn though? Right, the Sega Saturn was the problem. Right?
Well, the Saturn, like it was the catalyst that kind of pushed Sega over the edge because it was too expensive, and their whole launch parameter, like the fact that Sega of Japan ordered them to launch the system 3 months before they had any product to give to retailers, it pissed off a significant number of retailers who wouldn't even carry the Saturn for a while.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But was it Sega of America or was it Sega of Japan?
Well, I blame Sega Japan, but I mean, there's all kinds of narratives you can look at for that one. But for NEC and the TurboGrafx, though, the fault and failure lies really heavily on NEC North America. It's really interesting. But
and you know what? If you want to know more, make sure you check out Historics Nerd. This video that will be released, and if you want to play it and you can't find a TurboGrafx 16, guess what?
Mini.
Konami has you covered with the new TurboGrafx Mini, released as a PC Engine, a TurboGrafx 16 Mini, and I forget the third variation of it. It's the European one.
Oh, what was it?
PC something.
Yeah.
I want that one. How much is it?
I think it's $100 actually.
About $100.
If you wait for it to actually, because I know the North American shipment got crazy delayed because of the COVID situation in China, but apparently you can order it from Amazon Japan. You can order it.
Yeah,
it's like $120 or something like that American.
Yeah, and it also comes with Turbo 16 or TurboGrafx 16 games and Turbo PC Engine games. So it also has Japanese games on it.
Well, yeah, if you change the language to Japanese, you can get access to all those titles as well.
Yeah. Some of the CD games as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's worth it. It's a good investment if you want to try it out. And I think perhaps, this is another conversation for another podcast at some point. I'm just trying to wrangle these boys in a little bit here. Because we could talk forever. I mean, we've already been talking
if I can
for...
recommend
I cleared my evening. I can drink all night and we can keep talking.
Awesome.
Hey, Ian, I'm with you,
Yeah, hang on one sec here. Oh, wait. No, you can see this microphone. Crap.
There you go.
So again, my plug is there is hopefully that Konami's watching this and you'd like to send 6 individuals a TurboGrafx 16 mini. That'd be great. Just remember, we got your back.
Oh yeah,
Konami's too busy selling pachinko machines. Come on.
Don't watch any of those other other podcasts where we shit on you the whole time.
There's no fuck Konami podcast anywhere.
Don't go back 2 years and look where fuck Konami is like one of the titles, titles of the podcast.
Oh no, there's a rumor going around that they actually patented another Bloody Roar game.
To get back on topic, what other recommendations do you have before we head out?
Play Valis 4 on the PC Engine.
No, I meant Ian.
Okay.
I don't know if you gave me movies or anything.
Future Man TV show. In terms of movies, I got really nothing. I've been digging through my old VHS collection of Godzilla movies and watching that with my daughter. So that's what I've been doing recently.
That's good times.
Yeah.
And what about the Castlevania series? They released this 3rd season just some months ago or something.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out yet. I need to check it out.
Oh, he already mentioned that and the butt rate.
Yep.
And the butt stuff.
Anywho.
Avian.
Is it my turn?
What about you, sir?
All right. So in terms of like single player games, I definitely recommend The Amazing Spider-Man. That is a very fun game, and I have not had that much fun in a while in terms of just the mechanics and enjoying it. The storyline is great. All of it's really good. If you're looking for co-op games, Vermintide is really fun if you like Left 4 Dead, but also like in the Lord of the Rings era. Really fun, has character progression, like different classes do different things. It's really, really cool. I also recommend looking at Streets of Rage 4. It's not out yet. It comes out in 3 days, and I cannot wait. I am a huge Streets of Rage fan. I've been watching this and following it on the Discord, everything.
Is it going to be co-op over the internet?
As far as I know right now, 2-player online co-op, 4-player couch co-op. Mm-hmm. That's what I think it has right. That's what they announced last time I had checked. I'm hoping they maybe patch it, or you can also get Parsec, which is like a third-party app that you can use to basically join games that aren't actually online multiplayer. So that's the option we're going to test out once that game comes out. So it drops Thursday, I believe. Really a fun-looking game.
How much is it going to be, that one?
$24.99. Yep, so $24.99, not a full-price game. I'm not really big on buying games right now, but it's I've played every single one. I have like Streets of Rage attire. I love that game.
I heard it's going to be up to 6 players on team.
There's Team Battle 2v2, as far as I understand.
Oh, okay.
They don't have anything more than that. In terms of TV shows and anime, High Score Girl is an interesting anime on Netflix.
Excellent.
I like season 1 a lot more than season 2, but it's a really wholesome, great anime that kind of surrounds fighting games, mainly Street Fighter, but it gets into other fighting games. It's of course I like it. It's basically expectation for fighting game fans to love that anime.
Hey, Tavian, I'm letting you know, Japan's arcades are exactly how that show portrays it.
Oh.
It is. I went to the retro arcade, and yes, they had cigarette ashtrays. Not everywhere, but in certain areas of the arcade. It is a smoking area.
Yeah, there's a reason why it is cheaper to import a Japanese arcade machine for some games than to get the U.S. version, so long as you don't mind an arcade machine that smells like an ashtray.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Hunter x Hunter is really good. Another really good anime is Carol and Tuesday. It's very wholesome. It surrounds around music and the music industry, but it's a really good movie or a really good anime. I think there's 2 or 3 seasons out, and it's definitely enjoyable. It's a feel-good anime, but it also gets kind of dark at times as well and has some great characters.
2
really
seasons,
unique.
I believe. And
2 seasons?
And it's from this director of Cowboy Bebop and Kids on the Slope, Shinichiro Watanabe.
That makes sense.
And he's working with Yoko Kanno on music again as well.
Wow. Yeah, the music in it is really good. Like, it's fun watching it with my family because my son will get up and dance whenever the ending anime song comes on. And it's just like, he likes to spontaneously dance, and like seeing him do that while watching anime is really fun. So it's a really good one.
And the Mermaid Girls song is fantastic.
Oh my God. I can't. Yes, it is. You have to just watch the anime to understand what he's
So
talking about.
is the anime like the show Beck?
You know, that's one of my favorite. It's the only other music anime, but I love that anime. It is a music anime like Beck, and it surrounds music. So it is kind of it's very different, but it's a similar concept of trying to become famous being a musician. But that's basically where the difference is in.
Okay, I might have to check that show out then.
I really like it. It's on Netflix. It's really easy to get into. The music is really good. I recommend it. And then
what's it called again?
Carol and Tuesday.
Carol and Tuesday. All right.
Well, does the show take place on? Does the show take place on Tuesday every single day?
No, it takes place on
Carol.
Mars. It takes place on Mars.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
What kind of? Okay, whatever.
You have to watch it. I'm telling you.
You have to watch it.
It's crazy. Parasite is a movie that I would recommend. It is subtitled, so you have to read subtitles. So it's not one of those movies. Our son, we put him to bed first, and then we watched it because there was no way we could enjoy that movie while watching it with my son.
He's gonna wake up
because you're not
Japanese.
accustomed to watch anything subtitled, dude.
I can't take care of a baby and read subtitles at the
Your
same
kid's
time.
gonna wake up and speaking Japanese, letting you know.
Then he'll teach me how to speak Japanese until I can. It'll work.
It'd be really weird if he's watching Parasite and learned to speak Japanese from that. That'd be a really
It's a Korean movie, so
First of all, it's not Japanese, it's Korean.
If you can learn Japanese from Parasite, hey, all the power to you. Your kid is a goddamn genius.
Something's really off with your son. I don't know what's going on here.
You learn languages really fast, but they're the wrong language. I don't know what to do with that.
How did you learn the wrong language from this?
You're a failure, son. But I'm fluent in Japanese. I don't care.
I don't care. I wanted you to speak Korean.
Watch the telenovela and learn Portuguese.
You know what?
Hello.
Oh.
Speaking Korea would have been helpful last year because I accidentally went to South Korea.
Look at the dog. Look at the dog. It's a Barca.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. I got my dog over
family.
here.
Oh, there you go.
My daughter's in
Has it
bed
been
right
the whole
now, so yeah. Oh, no, she came out not too long ago.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone saw my dog. Now we're way
Good
off
battery?
topic again. But hey, you know what? Let's just wrap this up, everyone.
Yeah, let's do it.
Quickly let everyone know your
We can still hang
handles.
out afterwards. If
Oh,
you guys
we'll
have
hang out
time.
afterwards, but no doubt. And if you want more of this great content, believe me, we have hours full.
Was that an eye roll just now?
We haven't talked to each other in what? It feels like years.
Yeah, that's about right.
At least
Been a-
1 year, but probably longer.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, yeah, you can do the outro there, Tavian.
Sure.
Pretty much just for us for Console Explosion. Check us out again. Console Explosion on YouTube, Console Explosion on Twitch, consoleexplosion.com. Yeah, you know what? Everyone here, I'm happy everyone's safe. And yeah, check out all these guys' great content because every person here does fantastic in what they do. And yeah, that's all I got to say. So, Alex, go ahead.
You can find. I have a domain now, so you can find me at count0or.com. That's count0or.com. Find my written reviews, my Let's Plays, and my video reviews, Nintendo Power Retrospectives, where I'm going through every issue of Nintendo Power from the beginning to the end and covering all the featured games. The breaking down the Nightfall Saga, where I take a look at the classic 90s Batman storyline, and breaking it all down, which is general review fun stuff.
Awesome.
All right.
Video Game Hunter.
Oh, you can find me at the Video Game Hunter on YouTube or Hot Anime 32. Will both take you to the same channel. You can follow me on Twitter, VJ32. And if you want, I do have a Twitch, which I probably will be streaming more now since everything is going smoothly at work and I'm not freaking tired all the time. So you can follow me at Video Game Hunter on Twitter. And yeah, that's about it. I do Let's Plays once a month now. And the next Let's Play, you might have to raise a child. The next Let's Play.
Oh, geez. You and a child. That's, I feel bad for that child.
They're still working on the game, but I'm thinking about doing a Let's Play on it. And it requires you to have a VR. Oh, you can't see it. Yeah.
This called CPS, the game VR.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
No,
Antonio?
It's actually called something else, but yeah.
Well, no, CPS is Child Protective Services because
Oh,
you're clearly going to
I know.
abuse a virtual child. Is what I'm talking about right now.
Antonio?
Yes. Well, I'm not doing anything really, but
Whatever.
you could-
We saw you release a new video.
oh yeah, I did.
Yeah. Hey, you released a new video.
I might do something with the Secret of Mana stuff.
There you go.
What
And
happened?
you did stream. You did attempt to stream,
I did,
but your
I did-
mic did sound like a moose fart. So
Yeah, so I don't know what happened, and I said, well, fuck it,
Were you
whatever.
were you using that new like NVIDIA noise canceling software or whatever it is they haven't like?
I don't know what I'm
embedded in that?
doing. So
I can never figure out the NVIDIA experience streaming software. Never.
Yeah, I just wanted something. I usually when I stream before I use the Elgato capture thing to stream it, but I just didn't feel like put everything together and just said, I'll just use this thing, and it didn't work. So fuck it, I said.
So yeah. But anyways, check out his old stuff because you still get views for it. So check out his
I
old
get
stuff.
a lot of views actually. Some
You
of the
do?
stuff. Yeah.
It's good shit.
I
Yeah.
get a ton of reviews from my collaboration I did with a Historic Nerd on
Longest day.
Hey, yeah.
There you go.
There you go. See,
I
we all
get
got
That video is a
a
double-edged sword. Like it gets a lot of views, but it also gets a lot of weird people wanting to debate me about the most random, trivial shit in World War II, and I'm like,
Yeah.
God,
Oh yeah,
I'm like-
didn't some guy go on you over some video
Focus,
game or
guys.
something?
No,
Focus.
not on that one. The longest day one, I got in a weird debate with a guy where he was arguing with me about the separation of the Wehrmacht with the SS, and I'm like, dude, fucking the SS had access to the conscription pool, making themselves their own fucking entity, so whatever. But yeah, sorry. Let's back to this.
Well, where can they find you, Historic Nerd? If that guy
Well,
wants to continue that conversation with
yeah,
you, where
you
can he
go.
find you?
If you want to argue with me online, feel free to hit me up on Twitter. I argue with people quite often there. At Historical Nerd. If you want to talk to me directly, that's one way. Still have the YouTube channel, Historic Nerd. I have a website that's rarely updated, historicnerd.com. You can go check that out and see content, probably months out of date. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right. Well, I'm the philosopher. I think that's everybody, right? You can find me on mainly Twitch these days. I stream tournaments, twitch.tv/philosopher. If you want to get into those tournaments, we're doing Street Fighter and Dragon Ball on stream, and then multiple other games like Tekken 7, BB Tag, stuff like that. Every Thursday, starting around 6 o'clock. Go to smash.gg/KZOO, FGC, KZOO, FGC, and you can sign up for those tournaments. They're free to enter. We're just doing it for fun and for practice. Other than that, trying to get podcasts out as much as possible. Just look up FGC Philosophy. You should be able to find that as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much. It's great to be here with these guys again. I do look forward to having these conversations because it's very nostalgic, very fun. But for tonight, we're going to get out of here, and you can look forward to potentially maybe more. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. But until then, we'll see you all in the next one.
Bye.
I forgot to put my image.